Welcome to another Beacon demonstration video. Today I'll be taking you through how to edit the POS buttons using our POS menu utility program. Now the quickest and easiest way to edit your POS buttons is through the back office computer by going to Beacon, and there is a menu in the newer version up the top there. If you go to POS and the Edit POS Buttons menu option there, so we click on that one. And what we'll do is load up the logon prompt on the middle of the screen. This is where you log in with your same details you have in your back office. So I'm just going to log in with Beacon. And then once you hit OK, the logon screen will take you through to the POS menu utility program. So just to explain, the buttons on the left-hand side are the navigation buttons, and we have increase and decrease just below them. So this is to go up to a different menu level. So right now we're on menu level 0, as it says, which is the main menu. But if I go increase, we're onto the hot food, which is menu level 1. Increase goes again to the next level, which is cold food, which is menu level 2. Coffee and deep fryer is menu level 3. And I can go back down by using the decrease menu level button just below it. So that takes me back down. Also, we have newly developed in the later version, we have sub-menus as well. So that is also something we'll explain, but same concept there, using the increase and decrease options to go up and down if you have sub-menus enabled. Also, you have below that the save button. So the save button is once you're doing changes, it's a good idea to regularly press the save button to make sure when you do so like this, that it's made the changes onto the back office. Hasn't sent it just yet. Also, you do have below that the ability to undo. So if you've made a mistake, you can press undo and it will go back to the beginning of the changes that you started during this session. Finally, you've got the exit button. Once you exit it, it will ask you if you haven't saved it, it'll ask you to save it. But that being said, let's run through some of the functions. So on the middle of the screen there, you've got the red and the dark blue buttons on the side there to cover your menus. So these are your menu buttons. So if you click on them, for example, main menu, you can see we've already got on the top portion there, it says what kind of function it is. Function number 50, which is a top menu level. So we're going to leave that, we're not going to touch that. Below that, we've got the color defined already, red. Now, the color these days is kind of optional. You don't need to have it defined, but it's fine to leave as if you don't want to define that. But below that, you've got the button display section, and this talks about the text that you want to display on it. Now, again, these are all menus, so these are not the actual items you're going to be pressing, but the actual menus to cover the category of the items. In this case, the main menu is like a miscellaneous menu, so you can see it's got just the words main and menu defined there. Below that, you've got the image. So this is actually, this red effect in the background is actually a bitmap image, a button red image, and you can see in there, if I look it up, it's this one here, button red. So I'm going to keep that. I'm not going to change that. I'll leave that for now. And further down, you can see there is no stock code. I can't define a stock code because once again, this is a menu, so that's fine. Also, very importantly, you'll see this and we'll explain this with some of the other stock items, but you've got these days with the newer versions, the ability to change the size. So if you want the button to be bigger than 1 by 1, you can actually have optional size. Also, you've got the start and end times. So that's probably something more for the stock items hotkeys rather than the menus, but in the newer versions have the ability to start and stop buttons at certain times. And finally, just the actual buttons down the very bottom there are delete, OK, and cancel. So delete will let me delete this menu if I was going to completely get rid of it, but I wouldn't recommend that. OK will let me accept the changes or accept it as is, and cancel will cancel without making any change made. So if I've adjusted the color or the bitmap image I used earlier, cancel will just escape without changing. So I'm just going to hit escape by going cancel. Okay, but the actual buttons themselves, so you can see these buttons in the background have, for example, like this, has some text predefined, or in the case of these blank buttons, if I click on it, there is no text defined. They already have the top portion already set up for you, and they also have the bitmap background image defined for you. All you need to do is give it a bit of text and the stock code. So in this case, if I was going to add, say, for example, firewood for it, I would use the text part, I'd click on that part there, and I'm going to type in firewood like that. Now, I then have to add the stock item in by clicking search, and it will load up this, and I type in firewood, there we go, and that's the one I want, the very top one, and that's it. So all it is purely two things: the description of the text you want to appear on the button and the actual stock code. I just hit OK to that and it's added. Now I can also go once again to the left hand side, hit save. Okay, my buttons are changed. I'll add a separate button on a different menu. So this time I'll go up to the, say, the hot food menu. So I go increase. Okay, this is my hot food. I'm going to pick on one of the blank buttons again. So I'm going to click on this blank one that's available here, and I'm going to look up dim sim. Okay, I've typed in my keyword, dim sim, that's what I want to appear on the button. I'm going to now look up the item, dim sim. Okay, dim sim small, that's the one I want. And then I'm just going to hit, once again, okay. So all it is the text description and the stock code. Okay to that. Once again, save is a good habit to get into the habit of doing. So I've done that. Now let's say I want to get rid of a button. I don't want to participate with an item anymore. Let's say I want to get rid of this sausage roll option up the very top there. So I can click on it. So rather than hitting delete, I would change out the text. So I just remove the text and I remove out the stock code. That is the best way to keep a button there, and I can still use it again in future if I want to. So I'm gonna click on that, and now this prompt comes up on the screen to say, do you want to nominate a stock code? No to that. Whereas if I select the button instead and then go delete, the button is completely removed. The background image, the function number, all that is gone, and I'd have to remake it again from scratch. I wouldn't be able to just repurpose the button. So it's a lot quicker to do it that way. Now in this case, if I made a mistake, I went delete. Oops, I don't want to do that. I can just go undo and the button is remade again. Once we're done, we're going to hit save again. We're going to hit exit down the very bottom left-hand corner, and the button program closes off. We're back to the Beacon back office. Now what you'll find is that Megalink down the bottom here will now have the buttons ready to send to the point of sale. So usually with the newer versions, you don't need to manually copy the buttons over or run the little batch file that we used to use. It'll just copy over now with the Megalink program. If you find that your buttons haven't updated at the point of sale, please contact Beacon support and we'll be able to show you how to set this up so that it just automatically sends it through the Megalink program to the point of sale. Now we'll be doing another video on the other advanced features in POS buttons, including adding a sub menu, including adding in timed button that are only available for a limited time. These will be available in the new video coming soon. But that's basically the simple and quick way to edit POS buttons in your back office there. Thanks for watching our video on how to edit POS buttons in the Beacon back office. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at support@beaconsoftware.com.au.